Welcome to the AI tool in Lucid. This first section is going to cover creating diagrams straight from text prompts, the most basic use case for an AI tool in a diagramming app like Lucidchart. To access this tool, you'll want to go up to the Lucid AI prompt editor right up at the top left here, where you'll have access to the text editor right here that you can paste in your context. Now I'm just going to copy and paste this prompt here. And this is a basic prompt to create a project management process flowchart. So we're only covering the highest level basic activities here. This will work like any other LLM or AI design tool for these prompts, where the more context and specificity you give it, the better it will be able to respond to your approvals. If not, if you just have something basic like this, we'll create some steps that would make sense for a high level process, such as a project management flow. So as we can see here, this is a pretty logical flow. You can follow a lot of the statements or if-then branches that we've created and revise manually as needed from here. This will be put into a default layout, assisted layout container for you in Lucid, so you can edit these shapes, move them around, and our arrows will rearrange themselves accordingly for you. And this should get rid of a lot of that manual work for many team members that have to create these diagrams from scratch. These rough drafts are going to save you a lot of time here. You can also access the tool at this toolbar to update nodes or decisions. So if you wanted to add a step, remove a step, or change some of the flow, change how some of the if-then statements are supposed to happen or branches, you can do that in this tool as well. You don't have to do it just manually here. Now, diagram types that we support range very widely, and that's a great use case for so many different teams here. So let's go over a few other different diagram types that we are going to excel at. Right here is a BPMN choreography diagram. We support BPMN choreography and sequence diagrams directly in the tool. And so this prompt generated a diagram just like this one for a loan application process. We will also support ERD, so entity relationship diagrams for data engineers, and they just need to put in either high-level instructions like these ones, or if they want, they could even paste code from another tool of their different class members and their relationships to each other, and we will diagram that for them as well. All of these diagram types, by the way, are put into assisted layout containers, not just the flowcharts, so you can kind of move these around in a more logical manner, and we'll rearrange the arrows for you. We also support, moving over here, the ability to create network diagrams. So here's some instructions to create a basic network diagram for a small office, where we just have one LAN and a few PCs inside of that, and a basic firewall. And you can even see we will group these items, so like all of the PCs and the switch that was inside that LAN, into its own container. You can see here. So we're actually really good at kind of containerizing a lot of that logically as you give the instructions. And here's that kind of guest Wi-Fi side block right here as well. So network diagrams are very good use cases for network engineers. You will also be able to create basic AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud architecture diagrams as well. If I look at these instructions, this was a high-level architecture diagram as well, and for a scalable web app. And we're doing the same kind of thing here. We're able to kind of see, oh, you wanted a front-end component that involved an S3 bucket and a CloudFront as the access point there. Okay, we're going to group those into that front end. Here's the back end. Here's your messaging center. And we are going to do our best to connect these in the way that you were intending them to. And then here's another example of basically just another class diagram that you can create. UML class diagram or UML sequence diagram. You could do either one directly from this set of instructions. So that is creating diagrams straight from text. All of these were done just by pasting in these prompts directly into the text here. If you are looking for more examples, these are basic examples that you can use directly from our prompt editor. So if I was to create a new chat, I would actually see a diagram that I can try and create. And then if I wanted to, I can select all of these different types of diagrams to create. And that is our first section of the AI diagramming tool. Okay, in this section, we're going to talk about Lucid AI in the Lucid Spark Whiteboard tool. Now, this will involve a lot of idea generation. So the first widget that this supports is our mind map tool, and it'll work very similarly to using it for sticky notes. So here's a mind map topic I have for marketing campaign strategies. If I want to expand on ideas there, I can actually just say I would like to expand on ideas with the context tool there. And it's going to add a few ideas to the right-hand side here. I can take any one of these now, content creation, and see what kind of ideas I should do with that content creation. And I can keep expanding on this, and this will work very similarly to our Lucid AI Brainstorm tool. So if I access this on the left-hand side here, I can go to the Generate Ideas section, and I have that same kind of prompt right there. I can ask it to generate some sticky notes. It'll give me a set of 9 sticky notes right here. Maybe I can see what influencer partnership should look like, and then ask my AI tool to generate more ideas based off of that sticky note as well, and I can keep expanding from there. So great to get some initial thoughts right on the canvas and save you a little bit of brain work there. We will also have the ability for you to take already put down sticky notes and summarize them or sort them into high-level categories here. So to do that, we're actually going to grab some sticky notes that we already have, and we're going to sort these using our sort tool. So you can find the sort tool in your left-hand side widgets. If you just go to your quick actions right there, you can ask for a sort ideas widget right here, and then click that button once you have some sticky notes selected. So let me go ahead and lasso these. So these are all just a bunch of ideas for integrating new functionality that an app should have. So basic app functionality support like dark mode and runtime error debugging. I'm going to grab these selected objects and sort these ideas with no further context. So that we're just going to kind of sort them basically by their overarching group type, right? What kind of idea they are. So here we have some error management, search and filters, authentication methods. Pretty good grouping initially there. But we can add instructions to these as well. These could be as easy as, hey, I just want you to sort based off of the first letter in the sticky note. So I put those instructions right in there, A, B, C. I just put them each in their own container. I can go ahead and do that, and that should be pretty simple as well. If I just grab those sticky notes and do that set of instructions. And there we have it. We can kind of just go, okay, here it is, A, B, C. I just want to grab all of the A1s and work with those first. And we'll also be able to do it by other sentiment that we want. So that first set was just by a group of hey, what does this belong to logically? But what if I wanted to group these by something else, like priority? Hey, sort these sticky notes based on how big a priority each one would be to implement. I only want 3 categories, high, medium, and low. Why don't we try that? And it'll do its best to categorize these based on that priority instructions you've given them using our AI tool there. So that is our AI generation and sorting tool. We'll also have the ability for you to go in and summarize content on the board as well. So if I wanted to grab these sticky notes, I could just say, hey, take this content and figure out what my team was talking about right here. And we'll put that summary onto the board for you as well. Eventually, we'll get into being able to support more than just summaries, but also summaries of widgets like visual activities and voting sessions down the road. Right now, it's mostly content on the board, diagrams, sticky notes, other stuff in frames. That's what we'll be able to summarize for you right here.
With Lucid's MCP server, you can easily search, fetch, summarize, share, and create Lucid diagrams, and with many more AI tools coming in the pipeline. Now, this is a really powerful feature because with the Lucid MCP server, the possibilities are endless, and some examples of the use cases that you can apply this tool are integrate with your meeting conference tool to funnel a transcript of the discussion into Lucid to build a process diagram based on what was discussed. You could also ideate with your LLM on how to design a workshop or presentation and ask it to create the Lucid Spark board for collaboration and share that with only the attendees of the meeting. You could also have your agent connect to the Lucid MCP so that it can grab the Lucid diagrams and do a system check or even automate the updates based on what was updated in the diagram or vice versa. Now, there's so many use cases that you can apply here, but let me show you a specific example. So I have a BPMN converter codebase here from GitHub that needs reviewing by the security compliance team. Now let's assume that they want a flowchart, a UML, and a sequence diagram for review. So I go into my IDE, which has an AI agent built in, and clone the repository here, and proceed to ask the Lucid MCP server to create all three diagrams all at once. Now, I've already set the Lucid MCP server up with my IDE, so the AI agent will analyze the codebase, format the data accordingly, and proceed to connect to the Lucid MCP server and provide all the context necessary for Lucid to create the diagrams. Okay, that looks like it's all done. So just to quickly check the share settings in each diagram, there you go. Looks like it has been shared with the security team, which is 𝗬𝗲 right here. So if I go back to the swim lane diagram, I can see that is also the same thing. And just checking on my UML class diagram, I can also see the share setting here with 𝗬𝗲. So now you have the full collaborative capabilities of Lucid behind this diagram. And you can bring all your users or your teammates or your colleagues to come and comment, annotate, leave sticky notes, and make changes, and so forth. So, for example, 𝗬𝗲 here can leave a comment. Let's say this is not compliant. Please review. Okay, so I have said I review. And I can remove this. Okay, so I'll resolve this thread. And I go, this is done. And I'll connect this here. And maybe this will be now connected to this and connected to this. Okay, so I've gone ahead and made those changes in the diagram itself. So I can now go back to my IDE. I can ask my AI agent to use the Lucid MCP to fetch that diagram that I've just made changes to and summarize what changes was made to the diagram, compare that to the code base, and make a list of what needs to be updated in the code base so that I can send it to the VP for approval before proceeding. Let me go ahead and do this now. As you can see, the AI agent is now taking that diagram from Lucid and going through all of the changes that was made in the diagram itself and comparing it to the code base just to see what needs to be updated. And looks like it's done. So it has picked up the missing classes that I have removed, including the methods that go along with it. And it has also confirmed what is still accurate from the diagram itself. It has given me a diagram, a summary of the diagram of what is missing and what has I changed. And I can easily take this and copy this to the VP for approval. Now let's assume that the VP has approved the changes. I can just now go ahead and ask the agent to implement the changes. Implement the changes in the code base. Okay, checking it here. Looks like it's done. The AI agent has removed all the relevant code based on what the changes was made in the diagram and synced it across, and looks like everything was successfully implemented. So if you have thoughts, questions on how the Lucid MCP server can streamline your work, reach out to your sales representative and we will love to chat. Thank you.
Another example of Lucid's vision lies within our brand new process agent. Now, this process agent is available by coming to our AI jumping off point and finding build a process. Now, this differs from our traditional Lucid AI as it will be a more conversational experience. I'm going to come in and describe my process. Lucid's AI will fill in the gaps, and then together, partnered with this AI, we'll be able to build the diagram. So for example, let me copy in maybe a standard operating process here, some of the text for that documentation. I could add files if I wanted to, and I could also just do voice to text and really maybe brain blast an entire prompt here of everything that my process needs, at least from a rough draft starting point. So then I can go ahead and send that across. And the AI, that process agent, will go ahead and work through the information that I've given it. Now, it might have a few questions for me. It might ask about maybe things that I have forgotten, but it will also help me generate a pretty well thought out flow chart of the processes I'm making. Now, what else it's going to do here is also give me a summary of what it's done. But while we wait for that to load up, let's take a look at what it's created. So I can see that it's attached some formatting here to help me understand what I'm working with. It's brought in my swim lanes, which I appreciate. It's organized things really well here. And I'm able to make sure that I can play around. Now, it did that a couple times. I've created a first draft diagram. It'll tell me what I've done. And then it asks, what should I change? Is there anything that we need to update? I could come in and make sure that this is selected and see what I want to work with. If there's any formatting that I want to do, I can do so now. One other thing that I would call out as we're working with Lucid's AI and with this process agent, it's important to remember that Lucid is going to ask what needs to be edited because we understand that this probably will not be our final version. However, we do want to have a starting point, and that's where this process agent is helping us to get. Now, eventually down the line, we're looking at other options to better further the AI's partnership or the process agent's partnership within this accelerator and within our different use cases. But this is a great way to further accelerate the processes that we're building and managing. And again, ensuring from start to finish that the documentation that we're referring to can be easily updated, easily referred to, and we can all have peace of mind that we are referring to the correct version.